Good Saturday morning to you all. Hopefully you guys are doing great. We got another Watchmen update here. We got a bunch of news items that just kind of came across the wire in the last day. Of course, sneaking things into the weekend news cycle. We got a major meat recall that we need to talk about. It wasn't inspected. A company just got caught by the feds faking the inspection stickers. We got Canada. They have a measles epidemic breaking out. We got Space Force and their top secret space plane launched again. We got major plants closing across the United States, manufacturing and food production. We got stores shutting down. And we got John Bolton. Probably haven't heard about him for a while. He's in hot water for leaking classified info. He is pro-war, pro-globalist. It's a whole thing. And how to survive if your car AC goes out and you can't afford or won't afford to fix it. We got that and a whole lot of other reports coming from you guys. Let's get into it. Welcome to the Poplar Report. I'm Steve Poplar. I'm an accountant by trade, and these are your updates. If you have something to share, make sure you use the word update somewhere in your comment. That gets it to the right place. We do want to thank our sponsor, Genesis Gold Group. They help people with retirement accounts. If you have a 401k, an IRA, and you want to find out more about switching some of that over to physical precious metals, this is a great time to get in on it. Experts seem to say that they think gold, silver, and other precious metals are about to explode upwards and protect your retirement, whereas the stock market may be going the opposite direction. If you want to find out more about that or discuss that with somebody, there'll be a link at the end of the video. All right, Canada's measles cases have passed 4,500. It's the highest count in all of the Americas. They've been bringing all sorts of people into their country, legally or elsewise. And they're bringing a lot of people who are sick and carrying measles with them, and it's causing it to spread inside Canada, where they're not poking people anymore for that. So that leaves them susceptible to that spreading like wildfire through Canada, and it's starting to exponentially grow. So we may see some pretty serious things in the coming months in Canada with measles. We're seeing some measles cases inside the United States, but nothing like what we're seeing in Canada. All right, Israel has vowed to destroy Gaza City if Hamas doesn't disarm and free the hostages. It's been a year and 8 months since Hamas went into Israeli territory and took hostages. These people have been in very bad conditions for a very long time, and it looks like Israel has just had enough of that. They're done playing. They're done playing these games. They want the hostages back, and if they don't get them, they're going to, they're already planning on utterly dismantling Hamas as it is. But the Palestinian people in Gaza are harboring Hamas, and that is being shown to be a very poor choice. Difficult situation there all around. All right, SpaceX has launched the secretive U.S. military spacecraft, the X-37B. It's a space plane. It kind of looks like a space shuttle, but it's smaller and it's unmanned. It's kind of like a semi-permanent satellite, sort of. It goes up for months and months at a time, doing all sorts of stuff. They're saying apparently it's demonstrating laser communication, which doesn't really make much sense because Starlink is already doing that, and supposedly quantum navigation, whatever that means. That's a whole different thing there. They're apparently testing some stuff, but the Space Force officials say that the X-37B programs remain secret, including the experiments conducted during most of its flights. So we never really know exactly what they're doing, but they're doing something up there. President Putin has demanded that Ukraine surrender the Donbass region, give up NATO ambitions, and keep Western troops out of the country. Putin is demanding these terms in order to get a ceasefire, let alone a peace treaty. They're supposed to remain neutral and keep Western troops out of the country. In return, they are allowed to have security guarantees by countries like the United States and others, but they cannot join NATO. They cannot host Western troops in the country because it's right on the border with the bear country. All right, FBI has raided the home of John Bolton, former Trump national security advisor. He was the dude with the big mustache, remember? And apparently this is part of a national security investigation searching for classified records that apparently he leaked. He was the national security advisor from 2018 to 2019 before President Trump learned better. But apparently in his 2020 book, he leaked information. The book was called The Room Where It Happened. And this is breaching non-disclosure agreements and contracts with the U.S. government with regard to classified material. Those are serious charges, of course, considering that those charges were brought against President Trump, right? We were told those are super serious charges. Of course, if you put those classified documents in your garage with your car, it's okay. As long as your name starts with a B, right? Anyway, 32,000 pounds of meat have been recalled from a New Jersey facility. This is the company called Sabrositos Hondureños LLC. They added false inspection labels to packages that were not inspected. The recall was announced by the U.S. Department of Agriculture's Food Safety and Inspection Services. The meat products included chorizo sausage, pork chops, and ribs. This was happened due to a federal surveillance at the facility on August 20th. Like I said, 32,000 pounds of meat products, and it's in the New Jersey area, and chorizo, pork chops, and ribs. All right, into your reports here. Eyes Wide says, Tacoma, Washington State. In the last week, I've been getting notifications that 3 different Fred Meyer's superstores will be closing near me. These stores are located in areas where there's not many grocery stores nearby. Keep prepping, stay safe, and God bless. Yeah. So we're seeing a lot of store closures in 2 different types of locations. We're seeing them in super rural areas where the depopulation in that area is just making it so that because people are generally moving towards cities. That means that the rural areas are getting less and less population. And so some of these stores don't make sense anymore. They've just cut back staff, but at some point they just need to close them down because there's just not enough people in those areas to support a store that's that big. The other area where they are losing stores is, of course, in the inner city, where crime rates are making it just unsustainable to operate there. So with all the theft, all the crime, the stores are they're shutting them down. And yeah, we're creating these, as they call them, food deserts, where people don't really have anywhere to shop for healthy foods because they used to have a grocery store, but there were so many shoplifting incidents and the stores were losing so much money due to people just stealing stuff that those stores just kind of quietly moved their store to another location or just shut that location down. This is definitely impacting people. We've taken the thousands of little shops and we've mushed them together into giant superstores. But it works until those giant superstores are just kind of like, yeah, we don't want to have a superstore here anymore. Well, where'd all the mom and pop shops go, right? We need to have a movement when you have these superstores closed down where mom and pop shops need to come back. The United States used to be a whole lot of mom and pop shops, but I think we've all kind of seen while the big box stores are convenient, they aren't always healthy or good for us or good for the local economies. Cool Pop says 2 international paper plants are closing in the Savannah, Georgia area by the end of September. This is going to affect thousands of jobs and businesses that sell and work at International. Paper is starting to more and more be imported from overseas. So they can make it cheaper elsewhere, and they're just going to import the giant rolls of paper to the United States. Magazines we're not getting nearly as many magazines printed anymore. A lot of publications are just going digital, right? Newspapers don't really exist for the most part anymore. You go around and you just see that there's a lot less paper being used. Some of that's a really, really good thing, but on the other hand, we're also seeing that the paper that is still being used is becoming more and more a overseas imported thing as opposed to a locally produced, mass-produced thing. I mean, when's the last time you picked up a piece of mail from someone that you didn't solicit information from and said, yeah, that's a good idea, I'm going to go buy whatever from these people? You probably haven't done that in a while. And local mailings and such are just not as effective as they used to be. And with the way the mail service is these days, will it even get to them anyway? Truman says, saw my first butterfly this year. It's getting kind of late in August to see your first butterfly. The only birds that I've seen are a nesting pair of robins and wrens nesting in my garage. Other than this, I have not seen anything here in Parkersburg, West Virginia, which you should be seeing a lot more than that, right? Auntie Lou says, just bought pink lady apples at Walmart. This is in West Central Ohio. First 2 that I cut into had seeds already in the process of vivipari. Have never seen this before. The first apple was sliced up and given to the squirrels. Well, if you still have squirrels, that's good news because a lot of people can't even find the squirrels anymore. The second I have eaten, flavor hasn't changed yet, but I bet it will. The Veteran Courts says coastal Pacific Northwest has huge issue with cluster flies. I have 5 very large yellow jacket nests that have been stung for the first time twice this year. The nests are huge and near impossible to get rid of, so all the really unhelpful insects seem to be still around, but the helpful insects seem nowhere to be found. Nikki Spin says you cannot use your cash anymore for bus transit. It now has a digital card. This is in Grand Haven, Michigan, and that's happening on metropolitan areas all over the United States and all over the world. They are moving away from cash and moving to just cards. You can either load up the cards with cash or at stores or at vending machines that will do that for you, or you just have to transfer money from your phone or some other way to get that onto there. 30-Year Miracle says, I went to Aldi's here in upstate South Carolina yesterday, and there was a huge section in their cheese and cold cuts cooler that was completely empty. The section was about 10 to 15 feet long. I've been shopping here since forever. I've never seen that before. We've seen a lot of reports out there. Some refrigeration techs have told us that during the cough COVID period, they just fell behind on normal maintenance and buying replacement refrigeration units. And there just haven't been enough techs to get around to keep the regular maintenance on these coolers and refrigerators at stores. And it's just getting really expensive to do so. So they're just not doing it. And that's causing more and more failures at these grocery stores. That's a trend we're seeing. Dean says, here in the Pacific Northwest, not many bugs, no moths, yellow jackets, wasps, bees, and even less birds. Serious concerns out there for sure. Gina says, a few years ago, my boys and I were driving 95 north in Florida. A big rig drove us off the road into a ditch. That was when he switched lanes and didn't signal or even use his wingman to bother to look first. We had to literally chase him down, and when he pleaded that he would be fired if we contact his insurance, turns out it was his rig, so a lie. We had to then chase down his insurance. He drove recklessly, didn't use his wingman, fled the scene, lied, and was a Hispanic transplant, so didn't even have a license, a valid license. That's a question right there too. We're seeing a lot of incidents like that. I've heard a number of you share some pretty rough incidents that you or your family members have experienced due to people who really shouldn't have been on the roads in the United States. They hadn't passed proper training. They can't speak English, which is a federal requirement. They should not be operating trucks if they cannot speak English. They shouldn't be operating motor vehicles if they can't speak English either. They need to at least be able to read the road signs, right? But that's not always the case. States like California and others have been handing them out like candy, the commercial driver's licenses, based on people's just their word that they were a truck driver down in some other country. No IDs, no background checks, just them saying that they used to be a truck driver. Sweet and Spicy One says, if you mix equal parts baking soda with vinegar in filtered water and put the fruit or vegetables in it, you will see it bubble up and any bugs and nasty things will come out, which are things you don't want to eat. So that, of course, puts the gas off into it. Beck says, I live in the Blue Ridge area of Virginia. No birds except for crows, few bugs, lots of spotted lantern flies, ton of rain, no garden watering just once all summer because it's just raining so much. Potato harvest came early, small size, 50% size of normal. Weeds are huge and I can't hardly mow because of all the rain. Yeah, things are changing out there, and how much of that is artificial versus how much of that is natural. Kenneth says, it could save people a lot of money. Our air went out in our car at 100 plus temperatures. Could not afford to get it fixed just yet. Set up a small generator in the back seat and put a fan. Looks weird, but at least we are getting some cool air. So yeah, they have like USB fans. So if you have just USB jacks in your car, you can use those fans. If you have the cigarette lighter holes plugs in your car, you can use the cigarette lighter adapter fans as well. So you don't have to necessarily run that off of a generator. However, of course, you'll drain your battery in your car if you aren't running your car. Also, they have canned air conditioner recharge kits, so you can recharge the air conditioner on your car. Some of them have like the sealant in there too, so like it should, if it's a small leak, it will like plug up that hole. So you can look into that as well. Those are not very expensive if you want to try doing it yourself. Just recharge your air conditioner. If there's serious issues with it, obviously that won't fix it, but let's just say me and my family have played around with those a good bit, right? Jacqueline says, to help prolong the life of fruit, wash them and then air dry it. Place them in a mason jar with a lid on and then place in the refrigerator. That helps them to keep even longer. All right, friends, thanks so much for joining with us and being part of the Watchmen community. If you want to get some more information from Genesis Gold about what you can do with your retirement account, there's a link right there on the screen. You can just tap on that, fill out your information. They're going to send you a free book, Gold and the Bible. They do that for members of this audience, and they'll also see if you have any questions or talk to you about that process. If you want to check out another video from this channel, there's one right up here. I'll see you over there, or I'll see you guys later. Steve Poplar of the Poplar Report.